Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
Hello, my friends. Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. On today's conversation, I'm so honored and thrilled to have on Miss Amanda Nelson. She is known by millions, by thousands. I almost felt like doing like a rock thing from the millions and millions of people out there know her as Amanda's Mild Takes, which has been booming on social media from TikTok to Instagram, as well as even on YouTube. Her shorts, sticking it to those in up there in Washington. I preferably love her takes on the L's of the week from the Trump administration. I love it. Why? Because it's about keeping the people informed. We don't get that a lot in the corporate media space, right? Everybody kind of picks, one discussion, talks about it for about 3-5 minutes. That's why it's such an important, it's important to follow up on your independent media too, where you can actually hear the truth. And for me, I've come to kind of lean off of really watching, you say your CNNs, your Fox News, your MSNBC, well, MS Now. It's gonna be a while before I remember to say MS Now. I tend to watch a little less, and I lean more of folks like Miss Amanda Nelson. Again, Amanda's Mild Takes, man, are, for one, they're hilarious, but they also keep me informed of what's happening, so I can be like, "Wow, I did not know that." Thank you, and shout out to also my friend Kate Powell, aka Kate for the People, because folks like these two continue to keep us informed, and they're using social media for good. Because we always hear people say, "Oh my gosh, it's social. We live in this digital world. Social media is so bad for this." Well, no, it's just the way you use it, right? So I'm gonna be talking to Amanda just about, for one, the rise of just political influencers, really just the rise in her platform, as well as we're going to talk some politics. Of course, we're going to talk about this administration. We're going to talk about the predictions of the midterms, right? We recently had a tight race out in Tennessee. We'll talk a little bit about that as well, and I would love to get her take on maybe some presidential predictions, because I know that rumor has it, hey, Gavin Newsom, Democratic governor out of California, is thinking about making a run, because he's kind of been on this tour from state to state, city to city. And even though he hasn't said anything, it's looking like he's most likely going to be running. Now, I've told y'all how I feel about Gavin Newsom. Look, he's sharp as a tack. Don't get me wrong. He has the image of a president. Great hair, tailored suits, all the, hey, he's a good looking guy, not like that, but come on now, let's just be honest. That man is a step from being what's the guy from Grey's Anatomy, McDreamy. Okay, like he's a good looking cat, but I've said this many times again, he is a great debater, right? But I think, and maybe Amanda might have a difference of opinion on this one, but I just think it's going to be tough for him to win a race with the California baggage. And what I mean by that is California is one of the probably the most expensive state in the country. Okay. It has a very high homeless rate. They have wildfires, which I know he can't control that, but I was a critic of him when he started this podcast called This is Gavin. I don't know what the hell it was called, but it was a podcast during the heat of the moment when they had wildfires in his state, and I just thought it was a little tacky. I'm not a fan of having of sitting elected officials with radio shows or TV shows or podcasts. It's just, I don't know, it's just a little iffy. I'm iffy with it, but I understand staying informed and keeping staying engaged with your constituents. But I just there's the other way. I didn't really care for that, because it's like, okay, your state is suffering, but you rather record episode with guys like Steve Bannon or folks like the late Charlie Kirk. I'm just saying, it's a little turn off for me. So he's a potential person that's going to be running. We still don't know about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Trader Green, as what some people call them. But I think she might be running too. I don't know. I think she might be running. That's just me. But anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about everything here on the Arrington Gavin Show. As always, my friends, thank you for taking 1 hour of your time to tune in to yet another great episode. For those who are watching us on YouTube, do me a favor, like, subscribe, share with a friend, share with family. I truly appreciate it. We want to continue to grow our subscribers and our viewerships. We see growth each and every day, and I could not thank you all enough because, hey, it's almost like Erica Kane from All My Children. They love me. They really, really love me. I appreciate it because we see growth each and every day. And we get we receive messages, DMs, and emails of folks saying, "Hey, look, we appreciate you. Sharing all the info, keeping us afloat, as well as just kind of being in that middle ground. Calling out folks that needs to be called out because I say it all the time. If you do good, I'll talk about you. If you do bad, I'm going to talk about it. Best believe I'm going to talk about you one way or the other. All right. So it's just, again, we want to keep folks accountable. We want to give folks flowers when needed. And yeah, so I appreciate that. So YouTube, again, I've mentioned our YouTube channel, the Arrington Gavin Show. In addition to that, you can also check us out on Goatverse TV. You can check out past episodes of the Arrington Gavin Show on Goatverse TV. Ways you can tune into those episodes is simply by downloading the app. It's available in the App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, as well as Amazon Fire TV. Then, of course, you can listen to us on the go wherever you get your podcasts. We're available on all major podcast platforms. And then lastly, you can also listen to us in your car on the radio airwaves. Shout out to our fam out in the New Orleans area, WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 7 p.m. Central Time. Again, that's only on WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about. And then we're going to head over to the Houston area to Afro Vibes Radio, where you can listen into the Arrington Gavin Show Mondays, 12 p.m. Central Time. Again, that's only on Afro Vibes Radio. Then lastly, we're going to head over to the Metro Atlanta area to WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk, where you can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, now that I got all that taken care of, y'all, we got to pay some bills here. Do not go anywhere. You're in for a treat. We got a special guest, Miss Amanda Nelson, aka Amanda's Mild Takes. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here with more on the Arrington Gavin Show.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story, crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together, we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs. And we're going to bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create, from weddings to corporate events and everything in between. We specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023, and I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to
And we still in traffic.
Don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up. Yeah, this that new Goatverse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing Goatverse TV.
Goatverse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In goats, we trust.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
All right, family, welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. As I mentioned earlier, I'm thrilled to have on a special guest, Miss Amanda Nelson, aka Amanda's Mild Takes. Just want to give you a quick soundbite of just some of her great work, her award-winning work. Okay, her award-winning work. Hold tight as I pull up a clip here of one of my favorite video clips here. Hold tight, my friends, as I pull this up.
Oh God, y'all remember this, right? So Charlie Kirk gets assassinated. His wife Erica takes over Turning Point, does a big event with JD Vance, who's a big supporter of Turning Point. They share this very weirdly intimate hug on stage in front of millions of people, which by itself would maybe not be anything, you know, but her behavior since Charlie Kirk is assassinated has been generally quite odd. And she has since started addressing all of the rumors and chatter that came out of this weird moment, which was not made any better by the fact that Usha Vance, JD Vance's wife, has been seen out without a wedding ring on recently. Erica Vance did her damage control moment to Megyn Kelly at an event, and I absolutely did not want to go watch that. I also kind of don't care about this. Like, the Republican Party is inundated with sex scandals 99% of the time. At least they're both of age. But since she runs Turning Point now, there's been a lot of chatter about their relationship in 2028. So I went to Ground News to get caught up and get the lay of the land. Their summary was really useful. It explains what she said when she went on to Megyn Kelly, where the rumors got started about them having some kind of weird relationship, why the hug seemed so weird, and then the connection to Turning Point and the 2028 elections. As Turning Point CEO, Erica Kirk has signaled support for Vance in his 2028 bid. You can filter the sources by left, right, and center on Ground News, so I filtered it by right, and only one came up. India TV News. So her explanation for that weird moment was that her love language is touch.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Let me end this right here. I remember seeing that love language is touch. I'm like, a little more than anyway, without further ado, let's bring on our special guest. Amanda, how you doing, my friend?
Hi, great. Snowed in today. How are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm jealous. Okay. First of all, so you're also a fellow Virginian, so shout out to the Commonwealth state there. But yeah, you're more on the side that gets snow on a pretty regular. When it's winter time, you guys get snow. We don't get a lick of snow at all. We do not get a lick of snow. And so that's why I said I'm jealous, because we were speaking before the program. During the winter times, I've rarely seen snow here. I mean, I've had a couple of moments here and there, but yeah, we don't get snow. So how does it feel being snowed in?
Oh, it's nice. There's no bread in any of the stores. School gets canceled, but there's like the roads are fine. You could go out if you wanted to, but you don't have to because everybody's terrified to drive. So.
Hey, that's a Virginia thing. When they say we're warning less than inches. Oh my god, I need bread and I need milk. I'm like, why is it just bread and milk? First of all, I'm like lactose intolerant.
Like what?
Oh, that's true. I forgot. Yeah, that is true. You definitely need. So is it gonna be French toast? The only thing that's the only thing that's gonna be on the menu? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner French toast? Jeez Louise, you're killing me. Oh man, look, my friend, I am so thrilled to have you on. Again, I've shared with you before how I'm a huge fan of yours. I've seen just the growth of your platform. I had the opportunity, and I came across your page through a mutual friend, Kate Powell, who is no stranger to the show. She's been on here before, and she as well. I consider her and yourself, if it's okay, political influencers, because you all really educate those that are I want to say hesitant of politics, but getting to know politics, right? And you make it fun, you make it easy to understand. Because one thing I can't stand is when elected officials, they speak to us like if we literally know exactly word for word sometimes what they're talking about. I'm not trying to say like we're dumb or anything like that, but they speak on stuff that's over our head. I'm like, can you speak in layman terms? Like, can you share? Can you talk policy and not just topics or headlines? Like, don't just say I'm here for making it more affordable. How are we gonna do that? I'm here to put money back in your pocket. Okay, I'm here to, and it's like time and time again we hear the talking points, and I get frustrated the most being a millennial, where where we have a lot of long-standing career politicians. Now, hey, look, we have some that, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that they're off their rocker. They're still probably very sharp-minded, but I just wish that they could be more of the mentor and say, okay, look, I'm gonna do maybe like 1 or 2 terms, maybe, and then it's like, okay, let's fast forward and bring on somebody next to kind of finish in. We don't see that now. We have so many elected officials, especially in the state of Virginia. I'm not going to call any names, but we have a lot of elected officials in the state of Virginia who have been here before I was born, and they're still in office. They're still holding that position, and they want to run for re-election. We're witnessing in this country where folks that are in their 80s and above, they're saying, I think I got 2 more terms left in me. Yeah, I think I want. And I'm like, what are we doing here, people? Like, did the whole during Joe Biden's term? I mean, I feel as though, especially the Democratic Party is in a rebuilding stage, right? So I would assume that they would try to learn from, okay, look, let's kind of like lean what the people are asking for. What do the people want? The people want to see new faces. They want to see more, not just younger, but they just want to see new faces here, new voices here, new ideas. Let's bring it to the table. We're not seeing that.
Yeah, it's getting better, I would say. But at first, after the big loss last year in November, there was not a ton of immediate action. People wanted to see the Democratic Party pivot real fast, and we did it. But I do think that it's happening. And, every special election that we have or have had this year, we've seen more and more young people winning their offices, flipping seats from red to blue, especially in state and local elections.
Yeah.
And, last month in November, we in Virginia and in Jersey saw some younger candidates take the governor's chairs. So both of those states by huge margins.
Huge margins.
Mom Donnie in New York.
Huge margins. No,
I can't do the voice, but I can do the hands. I can do the hands.
You got the hands. You got the hands down packed. That's as long as you know the hands. That's all you need to do.
I think my hands are about the same size as his. Also, such a bad thing.
That is very rude of you to say, Amanda. Very rude. All right.
But yeah,
you're a nasty woman. Very nasty. All right, nasty.
Oh, I absolutely am. If he ever met me, that would be my dream interview. Actually, I would love to talk to him.
I would love to see that. Oh God,
I would have a great time. But I think it's happening. I think that there's the party at first was quite resistant to we need younger, we need more progressive. The people in the party want to see some change here, but they don't really have a choice. I mean, ultimately, the Democratic Party is made up of who shows up and who comes to the primaries. And that's part of why I started my channel and my whole kind of brand is getting people to show up, because the party is what we make it. And there's only so much that 80-year-olds in the Senate can do when we show up and vote them out. So
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I want to kind of, let's bring it back to, what got you started. For one, let me ask this. What got you interested or somewhat involved in, just politics? And were you a history buff? Was history like your calling in the past? Like, what got you started?
Yeah, I have a history degree that I got many years ago at VCU in Richmond. So
many years ago. Come on, don't do that. Don't do that.
So
okay. Oh, see, you exfoliate. Okay, I see. Girl.
You moisturize.
You moisturize. That's what that is.
Yeah. So I've been interested in history. I've been a history buff my whole life. It is my educational background. It's not my professional background. I've been in I was in publishing for a while. I was in big tech for a few years, which was miserable. But I've always been in local politics in a volunteer capacity in some way. Like I volunteered for various campaigns. I volunteered on issue specific things, like at women's clinics and things like that. And I think that's just a personality thing. Like I care a lot about unfairness and injustice. And so I need somewhere to put that so I don't explode. So that's just what I've been doing, for my entire adult life. And this happened for me. This whole social media thing happened in January of this year. Actually, I just started. I had never made a TikTok in my life until January of this year.
Okay, first of all, everybody's like, wait, what? Do you?
I know.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay. That's wow. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that's yeah.
No, it's fine. That's usually the reaction I get. But the thing that did it for me was Elon Musk. Elon Musk giving the salutes that he gave at the inauguration. I was like, you know what? I can't do this. This is insane. And so I made a TikTok making fun of him that got a pretty big reach. And then the more I sat with it, the more I was looking around at different political influencers and content creators kind of center to the left. And they were all so panicked. At the beginning of the year, everybody was so freaked out, and there was just nothing but doom and misinformation and fear mongering, and like martial law is going to be declared, and we're going to turn into Nazi Germany, and da. And maybe those things will happen, maybe. But, I have a history degree, and so I can see the things that Donald Trump is doing that have been done before, just historically to Black and brown communities, not necessarily to white people. So now they're happening to white people, and everybody's having a panic attack. So I started making more and more content that was like, actually, this isn't who we are. It is, as a matter of fact. You just haven't had to pay attention before. And here are the ways that you can resist it, because we have seen resistance in American history over the last 400 years that we've been here. So that's why I started making content, to give people some historical context, some grounding, so we could all stop flipping out and go do something useful.
It's funny because I pulled up an article where they said it's titled "The Anti-Trump Historian Whose Instagram is Like Xanax for Anxious Liberal Brains," and I'm just like, yeah, that's pretty accurate. Because I mean, look, I am, and I've told you, I lean in the middle, but I lean a little more left than right. When the first time Trump won, I think that was probably the worst. I always try to remember. I'm like, I don't know if the second win for him was the worst or was the first. I think the first was more sadness. The second was like, I don't believe this. You know what? Like, it's more just shocked. The first time, and I've told folks that I've had friends. I have friends that are conservative that have voted for him. I'm like, look, those are, because this is actually a topic I'll probably bring up within conversation, because I spoke about it a few days ago on my show. Folks that were voted for him the first time, regretted the first time, and then they're like, okay, what am I thinking? But those that continue to support is the wow factor, right? And so the very first time he won against Hillary Clinton, it was just like, I don't believe this, because he never had any political experience, not even on a local level, not even freaking hall monitor, and he ends up winning a race. The verbiage that he used throughout the campaign was just crazy, and that's why I've always told folks, I'm like, in my opinion, you could have chose any, I don't care if he was a Republican or a Democrat. That right there, to me, I use a sports analogy, if I'm nominating a team captain, you want somebody that represents the best of the team, that will always be there to through hard times, know when to uplift people, know how to motivate. I don't get that in a leader from him. I do not. I get it's me, it's all about me. What else is new? And always personal attacks and insults. I've never heard anything education intelligent coming from his mouth. It's always just insults, this and that. I'm I have the best team, the best this and the best. I'm like, what are we doing here? So the first term, okay, and then the second time, I'm like, wow. But to agree with you, I was never anxious. I knew so many folks that were just like, oh my gosh, the world's gonna end. I'm like, calm down, like, it's just 4 years, just chill. And boy, wasn't that a crazy 4 years, right? But see, what Trump never did, he never shut up after he left out of office. He kept on staying in the limelight, staying with the rallies and whatnot. And again, I give you your flowers, because you do bring it down a notch for us. You do calm us down. You do make it more humor, and you keep folks informed of like the truth. In my opinion, we're not seeing that a lot in the corporate media. Why? Because a lot of his friends are starting to buy out the corporate media, and it's insane. I was just talking with some friends about Larry Ellison, with Paramount, and they're buying so much, and it's a lot. But yeah. So when you started your platform, when did you know, okay, I'm on to something? Because you said you did your first clip on Elon Musk, and then from there it started to pick up. But when did you know it's like, maybe I can continue to push this narrative out to at least keep folks informed and be, keep folks aware and things in that nature?
Yeah, it was probably, I think in February or maybe early March when I did the first Els video, which is a twice weekly series. I do them every Tuesday and every Friday, where I just check up on the stuff that he's been trying to do in a week and see if he's gotten any of it done. Because a lot of the times the answer is no, he hasn't. He's been stopped by the court, or he's faced so much public pressure that he's backed off of something, or he's been so embarrassed in the media that he's backed off of something. So there's a lot of, the media, the corporate media especially, gives you, oh my God, Trump signed an executive order that says no one can own a puppy. And then no one ever follows up on that. And we just think, well, Trump said it must be law now, which is ridiculous. We don't think that about any other president. So I do those follow-ups twice a week. The first time I did one, The Daily Show shared it on social media. And that's when I was like, oh, I've hit a vein. Like, people really want this perspective. They want to see that their resistance matters. They want to see that their efforts make a difference, because they do. And it wasn't, I left my full-time kind of corporate job over the summer. So it only took a few months before I was able to turn this into like the thing I do now for people.
Awesome. That is so cool. And I think it's very inspiring too, because again, you having the experience being a history buff, being familiar with, volunteering, you're in that space. Yeah. But I appreciate it so much, because there has to be more ways, because one of my biggest goals is to keep young people informed and aware and having that knowledge base of like, okay, you see what happens on a federal level. And really, when I tell folks out, people know stuff on a federal level, they mainly just know the president, and that's it. They really don't focus too much on the House and the Senate, and they watch pockets, they watch 5-minute increments or just 5-minute headlines, and that's it. That's what they what do they have, a DRR? Okay, cool. They don't really look into details and go through the meat and potatoes of things. But I try to always inform folks on what goes on the local level, because everything that happens on the federal level trickles down on the state, trickles down to local. So it's important to be aware of what's happening in your backyard. But the power of social media is that social media has helped win elections for people. I mean, the mayor's race out in New York City, they said, look, Mamdani had a great social media market. Well, I wouldn't say that's the only thing. I'll take that back. Andrew Cuomo basically said that's why he lost, was because of the social media. But
you're also a dork, but okay. Whatever, Cuomo.
but a lot of candidates do pour a lot and invest a lot in their social media, because they know how powerful it is. And being that you have made it so approachable for people, you've made it so so fun, so like easy to like, oh, let me check this out, this is okay. And it's like people look at politics as boring. Like people look at politics as C-SPAN. Like one of my friends is a political and legal analyst, and he binges C-SPAN. I used to joke, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how can you watch that trash? And then I started watching. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I turning into you? But I know I can't share that with everybody, because people will say that's boring. But they go to Amanda's Mild Takes, they'll be like, I'm following everything. So I think it's very important, and that's the new way of independent media, if you think about it, because as I mentioned, corporate media is getting bought out by a lot of folks that lean more right. What's your take on that? I mean, when you have folks like Larry Ellison, who's multi-billionaire, owning Oracle, I believe he bought out Paramount, which has which is CBS. You're seeing a lot of longtime voices leaving networks. CNN, lost Jim Acosta, Don Lemon left. Everybody's leaving, going independent. MSNBC at the time, Joy-Ann Reid left. I mean, it's a little bit, I will use the word scary in the sense of that, when they're trying to take over the media piece of it.
Yeah, well, there's two issues with like big corporate media like that. There's what you're talking about, that it's being bought by a lot of kind of oligarchical figures. So you can't ever, I think people just don't trust what comes out of corporate media now, because like how much of this is real and how much of this is what you were told to say. And even in small networks, like your local news network is more than likely owned by Sinclair, which is a big broadcasting company. And if you watch local, Chesterfield news versus local, I don't know, news out in Roanoke, they're probably going to say like very similar talking points if you listen to it closely, because it's all coming out of Sinclair. So that's a big problem. Also, nobody watches it. Like corporate media in prime time, these are numbers out of ad reporting from October. In prime time, corporate news shows only have about 4 million viewers. CNN on prime time only has about 500,000 viewers. I, by myself, can get that in about 3 days.
Wow.
And you know what I mean? Like that's not, nobody's watching it. Nobody watches corporate news. And because nobody watches it, they have a hard time paying Joy what she deserves to be paid. So she can make the same amount of money if she leaves, goes and starts a Substack and a podcast, and she can make more money and not be constrained by what, you know, the oligarchs who own the company are saying. And then of course there's a third wheel or a third rail, which is Trump will sue you. And which I think has a very chilling effect on a a lot of these media companies. He sued ABC, he sues CNN. He doesn't always win them, but it's annoying. They're nuisance lawsuits. That's what they're designed to do. They're designed to shut you up. They're not designed to make him money. He doesn't need your money. He wants you to stop talking. So all of that combined means that corporate media is failing us. And it's not necessarily their fault. It's not the fault of the news. It's not Rachel Maddow's fault that nobody watches MSNBC, you know?
Absolutely.
And it's not even necessarily Brett Baer's fault that nobody watches Fox. It's just this conglomeration of really bad circumstances. Although Fox has done that to themselves a little bit, I will say. So now you've got all of these, you know, Aaron Parnas and Suzanne Lambert and all these people on the left who have created these big, splashy media, independent media brands in 10 months. Like these people just started their accounts, same as I did, because people want information. They want to understand what to do. They want to understand what's happening, and they can't get that from, you know, the Fox.
And
5.
I think, oh gosh, don't get me started, because I've always hated the concept of, oh yeah, we're the 5. We have what it is. It's an attack on one party, because you have literally one liberal. First of all, there's 2 liberals that swap, but there's really just one liberal. I mean, Harold tries to hold his own. He tries, but Harold's like, look, I'm trying to keep a job out here, man. I'm just doing what I can. But Jessica actually sticks it to them, because it's one of the most trashiest programs, I think. But I can't say I don't tune in. I do, but not regularly. But one thing too, Amanda, the people I would say feel more relatable hearing stuff from you than to hear somebody from corporate, because it's like, how can they relate to us? How can they? It's like talking with, again, this is my first time talking with you. I feel like I've known you for a minute. It's like it's very like an easy conversation. So when folks are reading up on your content, it's like, oh yeah, I can relate. Okay, but she's fun. She's just it's very relatable. They're not getting at as breaking news, X, Y, and Z. And this is straightforward. And just like now you see when they go independent, they're totally different. Like Jim Acosta is laying probably like 5 F-bombs in a show. And I'm like, Jim Acosta is out here laying F-bombs like that? Like I would never push my Spicy, exactly, Acosta. And, you know, say what, you know, Don Lemon, everybody is just so free what they're doing. Katie Fang, I mean, their platforms are growing at warp speed and faster than when they were on cable television. So just definitely want to speak on that. Now let's kind of fast forward. Obviously you have a large following. I want to talk some politics with you. So where to start? Because that's the hard part. That's literally the one thing where I'm like, where to start?
Plenty options.
It's plenty of options. Okay, well, let's talk about this. MAGA has seen a huge disconnect within their own party. One of their most vocal voices, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican congresswoman, excuse me. I almost put on my Jasmine Crockett hat there for a second. Congresswoman out of Georgia had recently shared that she will be leaving Congress come January 6th, which I was like, okay, that's what a day. The irony, right? I'm like, so she's leaving Congress. She has been on this back and forth with House Speaker Mike Johnson. She's even been on this back and forth with Donald Trump, the person that she would get hit by a train for him. I mean, literally, she was that ride or die person for him. And now she's Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, he's always quick with the names. That's one thing I'll give Trump. The name calling can sometimes be a little humorous. I'm like, wow, that's a bar right there. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay, I like. But anyway, she says she's out.
Yeah.
Do you see this as a fall for MAGA, or like, you know, kind of what's next? Like, you know, Matt Gaetz is freaking in the press rooms now, being a reporter for OAN. He's out of all, you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Like, what's your take? Just kind of like the disconnect happening in for MAGA.
I think that Marjorie Taylor Greene has a reputation for being stupid, but she's not. she's not stupid. and you know, she plays a stupid person on the TV because that's being this like QAnon-y whatever conspiracy theory wackadoo is what got her elected, and she knew that. But I think she's a very she has canny political instincts, and she knows that Trump is not long for this world, or politically or physically. But there has to be a future for the party.
As he takes a nap while he's,
right. Yes, exactly. Like, and those naps are only going to be longer till they are the longest. And so she's, I think, positioning herself for 28. Like, I people give me a lot of crap for saying that, but I do think that she is going to try to primary Vance in 28.
You know what? So I had when I first heard about when I first saw the video of her announcing that she's leaving, it was either that or maybe running for higher office in the state of Georgia, because I know I think either Senate, they have a Senate race happening there, and so I was like either those two, but I'm like, but if she if she does run for well, I'm kind of moving a little ahead, but while we're talking about it, if she runs, who do you think she would be like a running mate for her? Like, I'm just saying, like, because that's the thing. Did she kind of shot herself in the foot by distancing herself from Trump, or is it like, because I feel as though like the traditional Republicans are not a fan of Marjorie Green, because she's been one of the most annoying individuals out there. And then when I saw her on she was on The View out of all places, and they're making jokes saying, why don't you just join the Democrat? Looks like you're sounding like a Democrat. I'm like,
no, thank you.
I don't know what y'all smoking, okay? But she can, she's a hot mess. But yeah, I mean, it's just what causing so much havoc and then leaving on bad terms with the president. I mean, do you really think she even has a chance if she wanted to run for president?
She might. I mean, it's going to depend on what happens between now and then, because part of the reason why this started for her is because she wanted to run for Senate, and Trump told her no. And since he controls the RNC, quite literally, like his family controls the party, the national party apparatus, she can't run for Senate without his support because she won't have the money or the infrastructure to make it happen. So I think that just pissed her off. And now she's, kind of shooting higher. But it'll depend on what MAGA looks like in a year or two, because the party is fracturing a little bit. Everyone, I think, smells blood in the water. They understand that the party's going to need a future after Trump. So they're all kind of elbowing each other to be the person who makes that happen. So there's her, and this like, I'm the real MAGA, populism, affordability kind of thing. And she's picking that lane. And then you have like Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, we're just going to lead into being Nazis. There's that lane. And then there's like Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, like the kind of still very pro-Israel, very neocon, kind of traditional sort of Republicans. And then there's JD Vance. Where's JD Vance going to land? So it'll depend on how all of that shakes out. But if it gets to a point where people are still wanting that kind of populist messaging, but they don't want the weird Nazi stuff, I think she would have a shot. Now, one of the real questions is, will MAGA vote for a woman? I don't know. I think it matters more that she's white. I think her being a woman won't matter as much, but as long as she says all the right things. But it's going to depend on how the Tucker Carlson stuff shakes out.
Well, and you bring up another conversation. I mean, there's always a discussion of, is America ready for a woman president? Now, you had, I believe it was former First Lady Michelle Obama, I think recently it's said that there will never be it's I guess it's sad when you hear from somebody who is so, again, an OG, very well respected. Like, I always share the story when Abigail Spanberger was running for governor out here, and she had an event with Obama at the Chartway Arena over at Old Dominion. And I've been to small, local rallies. I've been to I've been to a function for U.S. Senator Tim Kaine. That's another whole conversation there too. But went there, and I was like, it's never really my scene. But one thing when I told him, I'm like, but this is Obama. I'm like, I don't care. We got it. And so it was a very just like, it was a emotional, exciting. It was a lot. It was a lot of stuff happening when we got to win. Because when he first got elected, I was in 7th grade. So and I was in a private conservative school that the majority was not happy. And then there was a small selection of kids that were like, and like, so we, it was an exciting moment. But Side note, yes, First Lady Michelle Obama basically said that there will never be a woman president. Stephen A. Smith, who's now kind of like a growing voice in the political space, he's known for being a sports commentator, but he's been pulled in to talk more politics lately on different platforms. He hosts his own program, a political program, and he had disagreed with the former First Lady. What's Amanda's mild take on would there ever be? Do you think America is ready? Do you think America will ever elect a woman president?
Yes, I do think it matters less than people think it does, because Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by 3 million. The only reason she wasn't president in 2016 was the Electoral College, and that doesn't have anything to do with what is America ready for. And we just in November, Abigail Spanberger and Mikey Sherrill in Jersey are women who are going to be governors of their respective states, and they won by 13, 14, 15 points. And even in red states, Alabama has a female governor. And there are women in Congress who come from Republican districts. So I don't know that it's necessarily that America's not ready for a woman. Is America ready for a Black woman? That's a different question. And I think in 2024, we saw the answer to that question. And I understand why Michelle Obama would feel that way. She's been nothing but abused by the American people for 30 years, 20 years, like a long time, 20 years.
Now, and I hate to cut you off, but I kind of want to play a little devil's advocate. So you mentioned about, again, Spanberger, a female elected president, Mikey Sherrill, Alabama has a woman president, at the Nikki Haley, former governor of South Carolina. But those are state. It's like sometimes state politics and federal can have different outcomes. Like local Democrats. I want to talk about the Democratic Party as well. Local Democrats, state Democrats, different outcomes compared to on the federal level. So even though it might be solid for, and then also Huckabee out there in Arkansas. Female.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, can't forget Huckabee. But also a governor. Now in a state, yes, but country, it's just, and I don't want to kind of play that card, because I would love to see change. I would love to continue to see more and more, because every change I see is like that's growth for just America, right? I love seeing the ticket for the races out here in Virginia, right, on both sides, right? You had Abigail Spanberger, you had Gonzala Hashmi, you had Jay Jones on the other side, you had Winston Monroe Sears, John Reed. I mean, it was diverse. Jason Myers. It was diversity on both sides. I like seeing that. But is America? Is all 50 states? Well, 50. Am I short one? No.
You're right.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm right. Okay, I just want to make sure. Because hey, every day you don't know, he might want to try and have add another one to that, Bubba. So all 50 states. Could they say, hey, look, let's stick with a woman? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we don't know. And you don't need all 50 states. You need half of 538 electoral college votes. So that's also a question. And you're right, it is different. I think the big question going from state to federal is foreign policy chops. Like, will people look at women and think she can talk crap to Putin or whoever our particular enemy of the day is? And that's why, like, I have said before that I do think America will elect a woman in my lifetime. I think she'll be a Republican, because I think the way that America will accept a woman is if she's really, really hard on issues like that, like a real like hawk on foreign policy, very conservative, probably has a picture of like a Christmas card of her holding a gun, like something like that. Yeah. Like if it's masculine coded, they'll be fine.
What do you do in your free time? I shoot. What do you do in I hunt?
Which I will point out is Marjorie Taylor Greene. So I don't think and I think she knows that. I'm not saying she'll win. And maybe if she wins a primary in 28, will she win a general? I have a lot of doubts. But I said that about Donald Trump in 2016 and I was wrong. So anything is possible.
So now you said a Republican woman. Now, why not a woman from the Democratic Party? So I want to talk about the Democratic Party because I read an article where it was reported by the Grio, and Kamala Harris, who's still on I think she's finished up her tour by now, but she put out a new book, 107 Days, talking about her time running for president, which was again a reason why I was probably a huge critic of Biden and the Democratic Party as a whole, because I just felt like that was just it was a crap show to begin with, the way that was all set up. But she had said that the Democratic Party overlooked basically the women or black women, I believe. I might be misphrasing it there, but she basically said, hey, look, they ignored and did not take us seriously. And so you have folks that are agreeing with her. There was a congresswoman out of Pennsylvania who was recently, she had an interview with on Breaking Points, and she was pretty much saying, hey, look, the traditional strategy is dead and gone. Grassroots is what is a winning strategy right now, but they're not receiving that support. I brought up Mamdani winning the mayoral the New York mayoral's race out there, who didn't receive support from what majority of his sitting Congress people in Congress and Senate out in New York. So like let's talk about the Democratic Party here. Let's talk, because you are a supporter of, if is it okay if I can say, are you well, what do you consider?
Yeah, I'm a Democrat. Yeah.
So now there are moments where it's like, I'm like, what are they doing? What are they doing? Are they trying to win? Are they trying to, like, what can you say that is really I wouldn't could you even call it a mild take? I feel like some of your mild takes are a little higher than
yeah, that's the secret. They're actually a little spicy. So last year, if you had asked me this question last year, I would have, can I curse on here? I would have
we can't FCC you can PG 13, you know.
I would have talked a lot of crap about the DNC if you'd asked me this question last year. But we have a new chair, and I think he's doing things a lot differently. We changed chairs of the DNC in January, so Ken Martin is the chair now. He comes out of Minnesota, and he has a lot more working class chops than some of our previous chairs. He's the only DNC chair, I think, who is still actively in a union, and he has what he calls it a 57 state parties strategy, because it's all 50 states and then all the territories in DC. So the DNC is now financially supporting every state party, and it's giving extra funds to red states. So the idea for the DNC now is no state left behind. We're not ignoring Louisiana because it's a red state. We're not ignoring Texas because it's hard to win in Texas. We're not ignoring mayoral races in Miami, Florida, because it's hard to win in Florida. So he is actively on the ground. He was in Tennessee last week for Afton Bain, and she got a lot of financial support from the DNC. So I think we're seeing changes, and so far, I am happy with what he's doing. We'll see if that continues. I don't know. That is different from congressional leadership. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, I am not as happy with the things that they're doing, or the way that they have responded, and especially to somebody like Mamdani. In my opinion, once somebody wins a primary, you're behind them 100%. Like if you're a party leader, that's what
Congressman James Clyburn out of South Carolina did. He initially had endorsed Andrew Cuomo during the primary. Then when he lost, he immediately went straight to Mamdani. A true man that's a team player. And I've been, I'm a fan of James Clyburn. I'm not a fan of the fact that he's still in office, I'll be honest. But I'm just saying I'm a fan of him for doing that.
Yeah. And that, I don't know, that just feels like the obvious thing to do. Like if a person won a primary, that means that's who the people in that district want, or that city or that state or whatever. So what's the point of positioning yourself as not full-throatedly behind the person with the D by their name who was Mamdani has a D by his name. I understand that he has roots in the DSA. I understand, whatever. I don't care. He has a D by his name on that ticket. Schumer needs to be behind the man with the D on his name.
Well, and that's what's being called out now, is just personal interests, right? They're finding stuff that will benefit themselves and not the majority. I mean, shoot, you have folks in office now that they might have a D or an R, but they're the opposite, right? I mean, there's a gentleman who was just pardoned out of Texas, Henry Collier, and look, they asked, would you be running for re-election as a Democrat or now as a Republican, since you were pardoned? He's like, I am a conservative Democrat. And it's just, at the time, there was really never too many words before you might say, hey, look, I have maybe conservative views, but you say, hey, look, I'm no conservative X, Y, and Z. Like, just leave it like that. But now it's back and forth. Fetterman out of PA, like, what is he doing now? He's just taking the place of a Joe Manchin, which is funny because Joe Manchin now as an independent is very liberal. Like he's talking a little more liberal now that he's out of office than when he was in office, and that's where the sketchiness for me comes. I'm like, okay, what is?
Well, I will say there is. People say the same thing about like blue dog Democrats, like people who are a little more hawkish in foreign policy and things like that. You have to be able to win in the place you're running. Joe Manchin was the only Democrat who would have won in West Virginia. And people, I don't know, I think there's sometimes this, and I'm guilty of this too, but this sort of fantasy that if we just ran a socialist like Mamdani in the hollers of Tennessee, they would sweep. They would not sweep.
They would not at all.
That would not happen.
He would be the Curtis Silva of his time over there.
Who I have a lot of affection for, actually. That guy is such
I like Curtis. Curtis, look, let me tell you something. Curtis is dope, man. I wish they did him dirty. They did Curtis dirty. Him and his red beret, man. They did him dirty.
I would never vote for him, but I would have so many beers with that man. He's such a character. Like he is New York. You know?
He is New York, and that's what. Oh, I'm about to be crying over here. He is New York, and as much as he is, and see, he learned the hard way because at first he was kind of trying to tote the whole MAGA line, but then he's like, "No, I'm from New York. I can't do that." And because he knows, so he received absolutely like dirt. Like he didn't receive anything. But yeah, I'm the same way. I like Curtis, man.
I think both parties are starting to learn this lesson a little bit more, especially as we get into the midterms and Republicans feel like they're in danger because they are. That you can't be a nationalized candidate everywhere. You can't be a person who's like sound bites are going to end up on Fox News if you're a Republican because they really, really like that, who's going to win in a upstate New York seat. You know, like Republicans in New York, Republicans in California, they have to moderate a little bit. And they are, I think, are figuring that out as we move into the midterms. And Democrats have that problem too in some places. Like you can be very, very left-wing in Massachusetts. Maybe you can't talk about how you want to take everybody's guns away in Texas. Like there's got to be a little bit of room. I hate to say this, and I know people give me shit.
It's a strategy. It's a strategy because at the end of the day, you know, I'm a business owner, so I'm gonna always understand the target market. Okay, what is attractive here? What do they? I'm gonna say the DMV is gonna be different, as you mentioned, like going to Texas or you know more southern states. It's a different way of advertising. It's a different way to approach. It's a different way to see what residents look as attractive or in a sense, right? So I totally understand where you're going with this, as far as like, okay, this elected official will only win in this part because he leans, you know, and that's the cat out of Texas. He conservative Democrat that's in a very red section of where he was elected and ran for re-election many times after that.
Yeah, the problem with Fetterman though is that he ran as one thing and then became someone else once he was in office. And I think people really, really resent that. There's a difference between being who you have to be to win a race in West Virginia and pretending to be something you're not so that you can win a race in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I think he tries extremely hard because let's be honest, the whole hoodies and shorts, it's old, bro. Like, I mean, you could have done it for like maybe once during the campaign and just say, hey, look, I'm relatable. This is what I would love to wear, but it's about him now. He's putting out, and that's the thing that's killing, man. Elected officials at the end of the day are supposed to be public servants here to serve the people. They're using it as platforms to build up a career for them. Again, I mentioned Matt Gaetz. He used it to build a brand. Now he's hosting a primetime news show on OAN. George Santos, who's now pardoned, I don't know what he's doing now, but all of them look at it as far as for a platform. It's a platform. It's a good starter. They'll sign on to be a commentator on some network and write a book or whatever and keep it moving, you know, from there. So it's unfortunate. I think you have a lot of people that mean well, that really do want to do what they were brought in to do and care about the people. But at the end of the day, folks are going to have the camera on, you know, the controversy. They're going to have the cameras on who's talking the most and things like that.
And, you know, that's actually an argument. I haven't made any content about this. This is probably one of my spicier takes. I don't think we should have cameras in Congress. I don't think C-SPAN should exist. Because there is so much action on the floor of Congress during debates, during votes, that is for the cameras and is not for getting anything passed. It's so that they can clip those speeches for their social media and then use them later in fundraising emails. It is not so that they can work with each other to get any legislation through. And if there were no cameras, because if you talk to a member of Congress, I've done a lot of interviews with members of Congress, and they will say when the cameras are off and we're in committee, those people who perform like they're nuts on
it's
camera.
It's the total opposite. Yeah.
They're normal people. They're completely normal. They will get behind the scenes. Josh Hawley is a normal person. He's insane in front of a camera, but you get behind the scenes with him, and him and Elizabeth Warren will sit down and work on legislation together.
Some folks would probably say it about MTG.
Yes,
they would probably say
it
exactly
about her. She is actually, rumors I have heard that she is one of the nicest, like the best tippers in DC. She's one of the nicest people to like wait staff. It's crazy. But if we took the cameras out of the floor of Congress, I think we would get a lot more legislation through, like bipartisan cooperation.
So first of all, Amanda, please don't be a stranger, because we're going to talk about that next time you're on. Please don't be a stranger, because I'm so like I said, I feel like I'm hitting up one of my good friends and saying, look, we got to talk about this. Like I told you right before I got on, Kate hit me up about, hey, look, what do you think about, like, that's my life right now. We have about 3 minutes left. Real quick, what are some of your presidential predictions, at least coming from the left? What are some key contenders? I mentioned that Gavin Newsom is rumored to, coming out and running for office, because he has no more terms left in California. Recently, Halle Berry actually called out Gavin Newsom over vetoing a bill. It was in regards to menopause. And she's a advocate for that. She's like, he vetoed this 2 years in a row. So I looked at that as like, oh, that was an L for him. So what are some of your predictions real quick?
It's very soon. I like to remind people that in 2028, we didn't know who Barack Obama was until he was not seriously running for president until like 2026, or 2006. Sorry. So I think it's a bit soon. Newsom is the obvious lead right now because he's the first person who stood up to Donald Trump in any visible way. And he got a lot of momentum out of that. Can he sustain that through a primary 2-3 years from now? Who knows? I think that I personally would love to see someone who's not from a coast. Like I kind of am tired of this, like, Biden was from a coast.
Yeah.
Obama was not. And it wasn't that refreshing to have somebody from the middle of the country. So I'm looking at Andy Bashir. I think he's very
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Okay.
Yep. And he is a blue state governor of a red state, which is that kind, to win that sort of race in that sort of place. It's interesting. I also think right now Mark Kelly is going to make a run. I think Mark Kelly's going to get a run.
So what's funny? I'm gonna tell you why I like Mark Kelly live, because I like his wife. I'm Gabby's my girl. That's all. That's the only reason I like Mark. No, I'm joking. No, Mark is a really solid guy. But yeah, it's just like you can't not like it's Gabby. Like she is a really an iconic figure in American history. Yet alone politics and gun violence, but she is a trooper. So that's why I'm like. But Mark Kelly, remind me of the state he's out of. Arizona. There we go. That's right.
And at a time when Trump is cratering in his support with the Hispanic vote, I think somebody out of Arizona is a good idea.
Fun fact, Mark Kelly has an identical twin, so sometimes I wonder if that's even Mark Kelly talking about. Just saying. You said, is he still in space? That's right. He was up there for like literally 6 months out there. I cannot do it. Well, look, my friends, I'm coming up on that time, but please, follow Amanda Nelson at Amanda's Mild Takes on all social media platforms, Substack, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Am I forgetting it? Am I leaving anything off, Amanda?
Facebook, Threads. The only thing I'm not on, I think, is Blue Sky, because I can't deal with it.
It's okay. It's so much. It's so much. I'm on there, but it's a little dry right now. It's a little dry. It's okay. It's all good. But look, my friend, please don't be a stranger. I would love to have you back on. I truly, an honor to have you on. Honor to have you share your mild takes here on the Arrington Gavin show. And again, please don't be a stranger. I would love to have you back on, because that C-SPAN convo is really, really like you got my brain scratching over here like, okay, she's on something here. If it's okay, I would love to chop it up with you just for a couple minutes after the show. Awesome. Well, look, my friends, thank you again to Miss Amanda Nelson, aka Amanda's Mild Takes. As always, my friend, I hope y'all enjoyed the conversation here on the Arrington Gavin show. Peace and blessings. Stay informed. Stay safe out there. I'll talk to y'all soon on another great episode of the Arrington Gavin show. I'm out.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.